Thought I'd love to be famous. I'm surrounded by the hate. They don't understand it's dangerous. Never see me face to face. Everybody talk big, everybody want it when you pop in. Everybody's watching, everybody wanna be a part of the problem. Put you in a coffin, dog, I know. You can't make mistakes on this level. They might claim the game, but they devils. They say anything to feel special. Like I love you, dog, yeah, whatever.
What's going on, everybody? It's been a long time. I do a lot of stuff, so I'm launching a little bit early. My internet connection is kind of fuzzy, so if my live feed's bad, I'm sorry. We'll get through it. I know it. Sometimes I freeze and all that other good stuff. I do have really good internet, but for some reason, when I go live around this time, it is just a terrible mess. But man, do we got stuff to talk about. I mean, oh my, I go away for a little bit, and I was bombarded with this. And I kind of ignore like messages that have to do with drama now. And Adam of Wicked Reptiles posted up a video of having 6 leopard geckos. And okay, that's not really that big a deal. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God," but it's not really that big a deal. Then Dubia.com that sponsored the video got backlash from it, and now they're getting backlash from the other side because they didn't want to sponsor that video. And we're going to get into all this. I want to say both sides are wrong and both sides are right. Good day, Gecko people of the world. What's up, Bam Bam? Noble, what's up? Adam, how you doing? And Frank, the tank. So I want to get into the meat and potatoes of it, but we're going to kind of go all over this. I was going to have some people come on with me, but then I'm like, no, my views are a little bit different than most people's nowadays. I've changed in the last 5 years on how I look at things, and it actually took me not breeding to figure this out, if that makes sense. But let's just get into what the video itself was without sponsorship. So Adam posted a video of him putting 6 leopard geckos, female leopard geckos, into a 4x2x2 enclosure. Is this something I would do? Probably not. The reason I wouldn't do it is it's an unnecessary. It's an unnecessary risk. It's an unnecessary thing. Is Adam wrong in doing it? We keep our animals different. Am I going to bash him and say, "Hey, Adam, you're dumb"? Not at all. If he's keeping them in a 4x2x2 and that's what he's keeping them in, there is no set book saying this is the right size for geckos. This is the right size for this species. This is what needs to be done. Back in the day, geckos were thrown in 50 and 100 groups, and I'm not playing, and bred for the market. And they're still kind of bred that way in the mass production. The mass producers do not breed one-on-ones. They just don't. So does that make it right? No. Does it make it wrong? No. We all, and I'm going to say this a lot, we all keep animals in boxes for our own pleasure. Everyone watching this, if you have a pet, if you have a dog, a cat, a reptile, a lizard, a snake, a hedgehog, anything, we keep them in boxes for our pleasure. There's no other reason. And someone's going to say, "Oh, what about the crescent gecko? We brought them back." We're the ones that destroyed their habitat. So there's not, we got to get that out of our head. We put animals in boxes for our own pleasure. The difference between me and many other people is I've come to an okay with myself that I do that. So a 4x2x2, if it's working, it's working. I'm not going to bash the guy. Here's the parts that I disagree with Adam, and now I side with another side. One is Adam is really geared towards rookie keepers. Rookie keepers shouldn't be putting 6 geckos into a 4x2x2. There's too many problems that a rookie keeper might not notice is happening, and an animal could be hurt, okay? But Adam sort of hit that. I'm not, if you watch the video, he sort of hit that. But Adam's whole channel's geared towards rookies. So that was my biggest problem with it. I was like, oh man, now rookies going to think they can do this. And when I say rookies, it's not a bad thing. It's just, you don't want a person going to buy 6 leopard geckos, never having a leopard gecko before, and mimicking what Adam did. All right, we don't want that. The other problem I see, and I don't see anyone else talking about this, is a company sponsored that video. Not sponsored the channel, but sponsored that video. And that company did not agree with housing 6 leopard geckos in a 4x2x2. It was their enclosure, and there was, I'm not going to get into everything that was given for sponsorship, but that was their enclosure also, okay? So they didn't agree with it. Now, I don't know Adam's side other than what he's posted. I know the other side, what they've told me. But I believe if someone's going to sponsor one of my videos, I'm going to say, I'm planning on this video. Do you agree with it? It's not wrong that Dubia.com doesn't want that to happen. It's not wrong that Adam put 6 leopard geckos in a cage. That's not the point. The point is, Dubia didn't want that. Adam did it. And now there's no communication. That's a big problem on the sponsorship part. Because no matter what you think, I think, Joe down the street thinks, there are people that seen that video that purchases off Dubia.com that now could be hurt because they don't agree with what Adam did. So Adam's choice didn't hurt his sponsor or his subscriptions. It hurt Dubia at the same time. Maybe not on the same level, but if Adam wants to do something and then someone unsubscribes from him, that's okay. That's Adam's choice. But when you get a sponsorship, like I have sponsorships for Reptarians, I do. And if any of them people feel I'm doing something wrong, they can come to me and I will change it, or I'll say, hey, guess what? I feel this way. We'll come to some agreement even if we don't agree. But my view on that is, if Dubia sponsored that video and didn't know what that video was, they have every right to just pull their sponsorship. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. There's nothing wrong with putting 6 geckos in a 4x2x2. People like to think that they're experts. I like to think that I'm an expert when it comes to leopard geckos, but in the midst of things, I'm an expert at putting geckos in racks and producing colors that are not in nature. There's no way we can mimic nature in captivity. There's no way we're going to put the animal in a box. So I agree with both sides. Adam should be able to do with what he wants with his channel, but when you do what you want, there's some consequences there. The consequences could be bad or good. I don't know, can consequences be good? But you get what I'm saying. Good or bad, bad or good. Dubia didn't agree with it. They pulled their sponsorship. That's that. It honestly is none of it. You're our business. It's none of our business if Dubia pulled sponsorship and none of our business. But I also believe that each side jumps on each side no matter what. And they're not opening up their minds enough to sit there and say, hey, guess what? It just is what it is. These guys feel strongly about not cohabiting leopard geckos. Now we hate Adam. These people think Adam is awesome and cohabiting is fine. Now we hate Dubia. And if you're on this side, we hate you on this side, and vice versa. And we're just gonna do this all day. It's okay to disagree. I disagree with Darian all the time. I don't know Adam. Like, I sent Adam a message telling him I was going to do this video. I'm not a big YouTuber, guys. I'm not that big. But I was messaged by a lot of people about his video. And literally, I'm going to tell you guys how I was put towards it. I was messaged about 9 times, I would say, from 9 different people. One was a group, and I kind of was like, oh, okay. So I went and watched it. And I noticed that it was like a week old by now. Like, oh, okay. And I watched it. And I was like, okay. What? Okay. And I didn't see a problem with it. And people are going to get mad at me. I didn't see a problem with it. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know how I feel because I don't want the newcomers to do it. But also, I have I've bred in groups. I mean, all the old school people's done it. And then I was like thinking to myself, like, he was saying males will fight males. But, I mean, anyone that's bred leopard geckos in groups, no, females can be pretty brutal too. But, I mean, I just don't see the big blow up. I don't see the big blow up. I think the big blow up was Dubia made a stance and Adam made a stance. And both of them are wrong and both of them are right. If Dubia doesn't want to sponsor something, fine. If Adam wants to do it this way, fine. But Adam seems like he's on defense mode. And now Dubia's on defense mode. Both of them are fine. Would I do what Adam did? If I had Adam's following, would I do what he did? Not even a chance. With great following, you have great responsibility. So you have to think more before you do things. So if I had million subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, whatever, I would be more on under a magnifying glass than, say, someone that has 1,000 subscribers. So when I mess up, there's going to be more eyes on it. And with more eyes on it, someone's going to see something wrong and they're going to start talking. When they start talking, more people talk. And more people talk and more people talk and more people talk. So I don't feel that Adam's wrong, except for not checking with Dubia on the sponsorship of that video. It happens in the video game world. It happens in the reselling world. I'm part of the reselling world. Because I do eBay and stuff, and there's sponsorships with, there's people that sell, like, go to stores and buy and resell and blah, blah, blah. I've seen sponsorships removed from that because some people don't like goodwill, and some people, there's some weird reasons why sponsorships are pulled. But that sponsorship pulling has nothing to do with you. If you like Adam, awesome. If you like Dubia, awesome. You can like them both. Even if Dubia sponsored it and kept the sponsorship, you shouldn't blame Dubia for what Adam did if you do not agree with what Adam did. I'm a firm believer if you watch anyone for 2 weeks, you can find stuff about them you don't like. You just can do it. To give you an example, I have Blink. Everyone knows Blink, that in Wisconsin. She's an 8.5-foot reticulated python. She is different in many ways. She's blind. Okay, she can't see. And I had somebody that I know not tell me, but tell someone else. It always gets back to me. That, hey, guess what? Gary holds that by himself. That 8-foot snake should take 2 people. It doesn't. She weighs 20 pounds. She's fine. And the snake is very, very friendly. I had another vendor's a child holding Blink, and I turned my back to talk to that vendor, and this person started talking crap about me. If you guys met Blink, then you would understand what I'm talking about. If I had a 12-foot Burmese python around 100 pounds, I wouldn't do it. It's different. I know Blink. I like literally, I have taken my hand and rubbed it in, and she will not bite my hand. I don't understand it. I don't even comprehend it. But people are just, I'm dropping a mug, but that's fine. People don't understand something, they get mad. They take a side. They're like, oh, I hate Adam now, or I hate Dubia now, or I hate this person now. To give an example, we'll talk about an old one, Frank. Do you know how much my life's been great without Frank in it? I don't agree with the guy. I'm not going to sit there and bash him every single day. I'm not going to sit there and talk about him every single day. I don't care. If there's people out there that like what he does, there's nothing I personally can do to change that. It's not up to me. All I can do is do what I do. And the whole thing about, Adam, getting smashed for keeping 6 female leopard geckos in a 4x2, and people saying it's too small because you should have this many gallons for a leopard gecko. Let's break that out. You should have this many gallons. I think someone said 20 gallons. You should have 20 gallons of space for the leopard gecko. I'm still confused by that. I am totally confused. You should have 20 gallons of space. Here's what I say. I have leopard geckos. I've produced a lot more than many. I've had leopard geckos that need to be put in a 6-quart and left in a 6-quart until they hit 30 grams. If I put them in a bigger tank, they start losing weight. They just don't feel secure for some reason. That's what I'm assuming it is. They don't feel secure. I put them back in a 6-quart. They eat. They're fine. Which is a pain in the butt because you got to clean it more because they're 30 grams in a 6-quart. It's a pain in the butt. But then you got them animals that just flourish. You could put that one little leopard gecko in a 100-gallon tank or a 6-foot enclosure, and they do terrific. They're like, oh, yep, I know where my food's at. I know where our water's at. I know where everything's at, and they do great. You put another one in there, they don't do great. Each individual animal is different, every single one. To give you another example, Blink is 8.5 foot. If I put her in an 8-foot to 10-foot enclosure, she gets lost. She's blind. She has no eyes. But I got a 9-foot boa that will use every bit of an 8-foot cage. Every bit of it. Without a, and that's still shorter than it is long. So, I mean, we got to get to the point where we understand that we put animals in boxes for our own pleasure. Oh my God. People, the whole gallon thing, that just gets me. Like, you need 20 gallons. Someone's telling me that. You need 20 gallons of space per animal. So I'm like, wow. Interesting. So what other things I put? I talked about the great following. With a great following, you need great responsibility. You got to watch what you do. I mean, Brian Barczyk's a perfect example. He was under a microscope, 5 million people watching him ever, and people would tear him apart. There would be groups of people just watching him, waiting for him to mess up. So he had to be so worried about how he said things and how he put things and how he positioned things because people made him do it. I honestly believe that Brian wasn't being his full self because he's so worried that these haters was going to say something. So I think that was ridiculous too. I like Gecko Boa's posting this morning. I don't know if you. Oh yes, about about lineages and stuff. 100%. People putting this as like 20% this tangerine, 20% that tangerine. I get it 100%. Someone asked me what a Riddler was the other day. And I was like, oh, I'll tell you. It was a joke, you know. But I told him everything I put in it. And I was waiting for him. Why don't you list all that? I'm like, well, it's really not that stuff anymore. It was kind of nice to hear. But yes, I love John's post. It's nice seeing John post more. I know he's a busy guy. I love you, John. You're my homie. And the other thing I want to talk about is everyone makes mistakes. Every single person. It matters how we fix the mistakes. I make mistakes. But at the same time, Adam's sitting there defending himself, and Doobie's now defending themselves. And I believe a great sponsorship and a great relationship between Dubia.com and Adam is now gone because the communication level wasn't there. The communication level wasn't there enough for Adam to reach out to Dubia first. And then I've been told Dubia's reached out to Adam and he has not replied. So I don't want to talk for Adam. I don't know Adam. I think I might have talked to him once or twice in the messages. What I know of Adam is he seems like a really cool guy. I mean, to me, someone I would hang out with. He's a cool guy. He loves animals. We all love animals. But we got to get to the point where we know we keep animals in boxes, do the best that we can. If the animals are not getting hurt and they're thriving, then you're doing it right. we don't know what we don't know. So to say something is fact when we don't know it is kind of wrong. I mean, our care, I was talking to another friend of mine and said that the care today is going to change tomorrow. And he was like, you're right. Because the care yesterday is different than today. Bearded dragons went through a stage of they need UVB and UVA, they don't need UVB, UVA, and now they need it again. Okay, so bearded dragons went through this little thing now. Now they need great big cages. Less than 15 years ago, people were breeding bearded dragons in rack systems. So we got to think of ourselves as how can we grow? And I'm not talking about breeding morphs that have terminal illnesses and cancer and tumors and all this other stuff. I'm not talking about trying to breed that out. I am a firm believer if a morph, which is a genetic flaw, has a genetic flaw that harms the animal, there is no need as human beings, we need to go after that genetic flaw. We do not need to fix the lemon frost. We do not need to fix the spiders. We don't need to have that pattern mutation in the hobby by killing hundreds or thousands of animals to do it. And that's how I feel. Someone else feels different? Cool beans. But I don't feel that we need another color mutation so badly that we need to breed something out of it so we get something. I just don't see it. And that's what I'm telling you, Josh. That's why I say it's 2024. We can do better, 100%. I mean, look at Bubba. Bubba changed how he keeps in racks, and Emily changed how she keeps in racks. Guys, I'll tell you this right now. This above me right here, this here has changed me 100%. I'm not breeding geckos this year. I'm not pairing one gecko. Not one. Not doing it. I have a few geckos that would be sold this year, possibly. And I'm going to take the whole year off and just deal with reptarians. And I'm going to see where I'm at. I enjoy animals and talking about animals at the reptile expos more than selling leopard geckos. Now, just because I feel that way doesn't mean you have to stop breeding leopard geckos. Doesn't mean you have to do you'll never hear me say, well, I don't breed. I don't want to be a breeder. They do this. You're never going to hear me say that. Follow what you want. It's just, this has changed my life as I'm looking at these animals now. I'm really looking at these animals going, how can I better their life? And it kind of happened because most people that donate to reptarians animals, something wrong with the animal. There, you know, I got a rattlesnake that has a really bad eye. We're still trying to figure out what direction we're going to go. Tilt he got his name because he tilts his head, and you know, Blink has no eyes, and the boa that we just got recently is 20 something years old. He's a little cranky. Our Gila monster has a scar on its side, so it had an issue at one time. So all our animals have a story, all of them, and I've learned to do better with what I'm going to do in the future. I'm gonna try to show people how I would keep the animal and move forward. But I guarantee people aren't going to agree with me, so I'm going to run into an Adam situation myself. They're going to be like, you need to do this with that animal. People need to understand just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you hate them. And just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they hate you. We need to break that mold of cancel culture, I guess, or you got to take a side. You can't. You guys can't take a side, because the sides we're taking isn't the animal side. Sometimes we fight so bad to protect a side that the animals aren't even talked about anymore, or someone's talking about something they don't even know about. Are Adam's geckos in danger? Probably not. Could there be a toe missing or a tail missing? Possibly. Let's be honest, possibly. Females tend to be more aggressive if something triggers in them than males. I've seen males fight and battle, and then they walk away. I've seen females beat down another female. It just happens. He could have. Let's see. He knew what he was doing. He could have just shown him putting one leopard gecko or even another species. He could have. See, that's when I was talking to another person today. I don't want to name drop and tell people who talks to me, but they said they could have just put one leopard gecko in there, just put one in there, and that would have been good for sponsorship. I guarantee if he would just put two in there, the sponsorship would have been okay. He could have pushed back on that. So two's fine. It's a big cage. It was put 6 in there, and it just the way it went down. It was more about how it went than what it was actually done. Would I put 6 leopard geckos in a 4x2 cage? No. I used to breed. Now here's where I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, because because I won't do it doesn't mean I'm gonna slam him for it. I used to breed 3 females in a 28 court. That was when I got into leopard geckos. That was the way to do it. 28 court, 3 leopard geckos, and you bred that way. Then when I was going on, I met Matt, and I changed my way. I went to breed individually, and I changed how I viewed things, because tracking genetics became a thing, and the care for each individual. It made sense for me to do it. He's probably got away with 2. Yeah, he probably would have. And like you said, a lot of his audience is newer, 100%. So that's how I know that females will attack. So Adam said that he's been doing this for 15 years. Here's another thing that I wish myself I've done it. And I wish people would stop doing it. Is I've been doing it for this many years. I know what I'm doing. We're not doing what we were doing 15 years ago. It's different than it was 15 years ago. I've been doing the reptile game for 27 years. And I would not do anything that I did 27 years ago. Guys, I used to sell alligators. If you guys haven't heard that podcast, I used to sell alligators. I wouldn't sell an alligator if you paid me $1 million. It just wouldn't happen. Money's become second to me. But Adam's not a bad guy. Darian's not a bad guy. Darian and I speak on here and there. We speak. I've never talked to Adam hands-on or firsthand or whatever. I just talked to him through Messenger. And I think it was like once or twice. That was it. Because I was going to bring him on fauna. That's why I contacted him. Was I was going to bring him on fauna. But I think that Adam could have handled it differently after the fact. I mean, it's done in the wild this way. I get it that you're trying to mimic the wild, but at the same time, pushing that on the new people or pushing it on the gecko breeders and pushing on this isn't going to work. And the gecko breeders need to wake up, because we breed on paper towels. See, exactly. I've had a female go after another female while they were just on my bed being held. She didn't get close, but you could tell their intent. I'm telling you, females can be massively abusive to other females. So, guys, I'll talk about some Reptarian stuff. I want to talk about where we're going with the podcast. Reptarians is going to have a podcast. I'm going to be doing TikTok. I'm going to be doing YouTube. I'm going to be doing all that good stuff. My TikTok's like 70 away. I'm going to be doing lives on there. I got t-shirt now branding, like behind me. I got hashtag reptiles by, how do I get out of here? By Repti Brand. It's like going the opposite way. So Repti Brand is going to be the clothing line. This up here is going to be on a shirt. We belong to nature. It says Reptarians and Passion. I got some other shirts that are coming out. So I got a little bit of stuff. Let me see. Josh said something else. That in the wild argument fails, because at the end of the day, the wild, they are going to be their separate ways. 100%. 100%. I agree with that. 100%. So I think Adam could have handled things better. I think that people are getting upset at both sides a little too hard, because I believe that, in my opinion, if he's keeping 6 geckos in a cage, it's not enough to like blast him and kill Adam. Adam's a good guy. Adam is a good guy. I'm telling you, Adam's a good guy. What is beeping? Don't know what's beeping. Don't care. But Adam's a good guy. But I got shirt brands coming out. I have owned by reptiles. I got a shirt that says I'm owned by reptiles. We're not the same. That's up for sale on reptarians.com right now. I have designed 61 shirts that will be produced for sure. I've been loving producing shirts. I got some passionate stuff. I got some motivational stuff, all reptile based. Then I got just goofy stuff. I got kid stuff. I got heavy metalish, hardcore stuff. I'm trying to hit all people. And Fauna Radio and Reptarians and stuff like that, I'm trying to get time. It is a time thing. Like this here, I was going to do it at 8. I can't do it at 8. I had to do it now. It wasn't going to be that long anyway. I'm trying to get everything under control. It is time. I'll be in Tinley Park. If you guys want to see me, I'll be in Tinley Park the 15th, 16th, and 17th. I will be there every single day. I don't know when I'm going to get there on the 15th because I can get there early, but I got to check in the hotel. I'm not staying at that hotel. I'm staying at the Hilton down the road. Oh, there's another stream. Yeah. There's another stream. I'm streaming on Orner Exotics and on Fauna Radio. So I'm doing both. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to be doing an updated stream. Yeah, same stream on Fauna Radio. Same stream. I just chose to get it done. Yeah, I'll be at Tinley Park. So I'll be there with Miles. If you guys know Miles, Impeccable Gecko, Dab Exotics. My buddy Leo, 130 Exotics. I'll be there with them. Evan, my boy Evan's not going to be there, I don't believe. I believe he might be out in Cali. I got to find out where Evan's going to be. Strength and Leo's. But us four, our 5 group will be there. And then I'm going to be there with my brother. He owns Pro Herps. So I'll be there hanging out there. And then throughout the day, I'll be at Mike's Monitors, stuff like that, and just chilling out and hanging out with people. I will have shirts there. If you guys want shirts, let me know what you want. If you're going to be there, I'll make sure I have your size in the bag. I'm going to bring like a duffel bag full of shirts, see what goes on. But you guys are amazing. I promise you we are coming back with the streams. I promise you. It's just a time thing. I got to get more time. But you guys are amazing. I love seeing you guys' faces, or should I say words, on here. Guys, guess what? Adam's not a bad guy. He just should have contacted Dubia and talked about the video before the sponsorship. And Dubia pulling their sponsorship isn't a cancellation thing. They just don't agree with it. That's what sponsorship is. Dubia sponsors Reptarians. If I did something against them, they pulled their sponsorship, that is something that they feel I didn't do right. So Dubia sponsors Reptarians, and so does Morph Market. Hear that one. Morph Market, after everything me and Darian went through, Morph Market sponsors Reptarians. All right, guys, I am out. You guys have fun.